Bringing children in different grades together is one of the greatest strengths and challenges in after-school programs. Mixed age groups create lots of opportunities for children to learn and grow, but they can create lots of challenges for staff too. This video will help you take assets-based approach to making mixed age grouping work in your after-school program.
Hi, I am Carson.
And I am Alyssa. We're going to lead you through today's professional development experience that will help you to be prepared to make mixed age group work in your after-school program.
While classrooms tend to group children by grade, after-school programs are faced with the reality of mixed age groups every day. This can be challenging because students may not have much experience getting along with kids that are younger or older than them.
But there are rich intellectual, social, and emotional benefits that can come from these experiences when we take an assets-based approach.
With an assets-based approach, each child's unique strengths and differences are thought of as resources that can be called upon to meet learning and program goals.
Let's start with the advantages of mixed age groups. In a group with lots of different ages, everyone expects children to be at different levels of development, to come into an activity with different knowledge and skills. That means a student that is ahead or behind in their regular classroom may find it easier to connect with other kids who have similar interests and levels of development, even if they are older or younger. Differences that may make them uncomfortable in the classroom may be less pronounced in a mixed age group of their after-school program.
Feeling like you belong is important, and as the after-school program staff, you can help make this diversity and sense of belonging be the foundation for authentic connections and inclusiveness. Another advantage is that interacting with children who are older or younger than them can provide unique learning opportunities. Older children can strengthen their STEM skills and knowledge through the process of demonstrating it to others.
And younger children can learn more by working alongside older kids with greater skills and knowledge than they might experience when working with same age peers. However, you'll have to support both older and younger children in working this way. It may not come naturally because most of their classroom learning experience doesn't provide these opportunities.
Take time to explain to older children that you want them to help everyone learn and reinforce positive behavior when they are working with others.
Be intentional about supporting all students in growing their skills, regardless of how they compare to others.
Lean into the positive opportunities mixed age grouping can create in your program. Here are 3 advantages of mixed age grouping that you can leverage to enhance learning and development for all children.
1. Children in mixed age groups can find friends at their own level of development. Encourage friendships between older and younger children with shared interests or levels of development.
2. Children in mixed age groups have opportunities to learn from those who are older or younger than them. They can learn by observing and working alongside children who know more, and they can learn by demonstrating or teaching those with less skills.
3. Mixed age groups provide all children with role models who are at different developmental stages than their own.
Let's be realistic here and recognize that there are real challenges to having mixed age groups. Here are some things you should watch out for and research-based strategies for addressing them.
Carson, one of the biggest challenges I've seen is that older children may not be sufficiently challenged, then they lose interest in activities. It is hard to manage the group when they are not engaged.
Yes, I've seen that one too. One of the research-based strategies is to keep mixed age groups small to maximize participation by everyone and minimizing having to spend all your time focused on the needs of the older or younger children.
It is hard to develop leadership skills. I think positive reinforcement for good leadership and clearly letting them know that acting bossy is not being a leader, especially at the start of the year when you are setting expectations for how you want everyone to behave. I think the first 6 weeks of the year are hard, but if you can set up good expectations about what working together looks like, it will make the rest of the year so much easier to manage.
You're right, Alyssa. Another challenge I've seen is younger children are constantly asking staff and older children with constant requests for help. Again, this seems worse at the beginning of the year when kindergartners don't yet have skills in coloring, cutting, or writing.
You'll be making lots of adjustments at the beginning of the year. But maybe this is a good time to work with older children to develop those leadership skills we were just talking about. If you know you have an activity coming up with a lot of cutting, engage some of the older children in helping cut projects that you know the younger children will struggle with.
That's a good idea. It might even be fun to sit down with a few older children and ask for their help during free choice time at the end of the day. You might even be able to coach them on how they could be good helpers during the activity.
It can be a lot of work to help kids learn how to work in mixed age groups, but the benefits are important to their development. It is worth the effort.
Especially at the beginning of the year, you need to watch for those examples of when it works well and point them out. It helps the children learn what you are expecting, and it helps encourage me too to notice that it is working well, at least some of the time.
Now, I think it's time to put some of these ideas into action.
Yes, let's do that. You're going to work with your team to create your own approach to working with mixed age groups.
There is a handout for everyone that lists advantages, challenges, and strategies for working with mixed age groups. When the video gets paused, make sure everyone has a handout, then divide up into small groups of 2 to 5 people.
Each group will use these ideas to create your own approach to working with mixed age groups. How will you take an assets-based approach?
After you have some time to work, your leader will pull the group back together to discuss how you can apply what you've been talking about.
Think about what is working already in your program. You have lots of good ideas about what works. Use those ideas to develop your plan.
If you have questions, talk to your supervisor.
Good luck.